there. Welcome and good morning on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. Oh, did I add LinkedIn? I have to add LinkedIn. LinkedIn, baby. All right. Okay. One last time. Hello, good morning, and welcome, everyone. Welcome to my weekly show. This is Attorney Marina Shepelsky with you, coming live from New York. And just drop in the comments, drop in the comments where you're watching me from, and I will give you a shout out. Oh my gosh, today is hard to get started, right? Let me know where you're watching me from. I would be really interested to know. I'm going to open my comments on Instagram on my screen too, so I can say hello to you guys. Well, Moonwalk, yeah, and I will answer your questions, but just give me a little bit time. Give me a chance to give you all the news to catch up. Elna is from Montana. Good morning. Timotopy Joseph, I think it's from Maryland, right, Joseph? Or Timotopy Joseph? Let me know if you're from Maryland. I believe he's always inviting me to meet in person. It's amazing. So I'm really happy to see all of you guys here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. For new subscribers, I feel like I should tell you who I am. I'm Marina Shepelsky. I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer and an immigrant myself. I've been practicing this work for 21 years, going to courts all over the United States, attending USAS interviews, attending all the conferences. Meanwhile, on Instagram, Tarun is from India. Hi, Tarun. How are you? How are you? Let's get into our news. Real quickly, CJ is from New York. So, before I do actually get into my news, let me add some things about myself. Okay, I'm an immigrant. I came here. I was a teenager from Ukraine. I'm from Ukraine, and when I left, it was actually still USSR, Soviet Union. That was many, many years ago, like 35 years ago, I guess. So you can figure out how old I am, um, which is pretty old, almost 50. Uh, I came here as a child. I went to high school here. I went to college here. I went to law school at Fordham University in New York. I went to my undergraduate college, which was NYU in New York. I have a bachelor's in biology of all things. But of course, I have the doctor's in law from Fordham University from 2002. And I became admitted to Jersey, the state of New Jersey, 2002, and in the state of New York, I'm licensed in 2003. I opened my office in January of 2009 when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, and here we are. We have a great team of lawyers. We just hired somebody new, amazing. I'm very happy to, soon I will introduce you guys. And Gerald says he's watching and it has nothing to do with immigration. I really appreciate you, Gerald. Thank you. We will talk about the news today, though, and you will find something to do today here. It will be interesting for you, even if you're not an immigrant. So let's talk about the immigration news. Let's get right into it. Enough about myself. It's boring. So, the first thing I wanted to discuss is the 43 countries travel ban that Trump is in the process of rolling out. They decided they're going to do a 3-tier travel ban, much more involved this time than last time, last term of Trump, I mean, right? So the last time there was like 10 countries or so, mostly from like real Muslim extreme countries, and everyone was upset, but it is what it is, right? This time it's a lot more involved, and there's 3 levels: the red category, orange category, and yellow category for countries, and we are basically going to be taking away visas from people from those countries and stopping them from entering the United States. So let's talk about the red category countries. They're getting full visa suspension. People from those countries are losing their US visas and they're not going to be able to enter US. And 11 countries in this list are Afghanistan, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Venezuela, Bhutan, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. 11 countries. Their citizens will not be allowed to travel to the US for any purpose. Not immigrant visas, not tourism, not business, and not study. No, okay? Next category is the orange category. 10 countries are in this category, and they're getting only partial visa suspension. And that means they're probably going to give them a 60-day period of probation, and we're going to see what happens. Those countries are Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Belarus, Myanmar, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Turkmenistan. And finally, the yellow category, probational period countries, they're definitely getting 60 days probation to take care of the conditions that make it dangerous there. And those are, they have 60 days to remove the risk. And are Angola, Antigua, Barbuda, Benin, and Burkina Faso, Venezuela, Gambia, Dominican Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zimbabwe, Cape Verde, Cambodia, Cameroon, Congo, Liberia, Mauritania, Malawi, Mali, Sao Tome and Principe, Guinea, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Chad. So they have 60 days to address identified security concerns and make it partial suspension. So we'll see what happens. That means if you have a pending visa application, you will get delayed or denied. If you have already a visa, you already received your visa, just stay informed, see what happens. You might not be able to enter US, but maybe your visa will not be revoked. And then future applicants should be monitoring US government websites and communications. For people that are green card holders from those countries, this should not affect you, right? You should be safe to travel and come back. But if you have been posting on social media in the last couple of years, thinking you're living in a freedom of speech country, not freedom of speech for immigrants, okay? If you don't have your passport yet, you don't have the freedom of speech. And if you posted to support Hamas or other terrorist activities, said, good job, Iran, let's go kill some Israelis from the river to the sea, you're going to get deported, and it doesn't matter if you have a green card. Um, Interesting reactions from people and myself too. I have mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, you and I live, people who live here in America, we want to stay. We want to stay home. We want to feel like we are protected. So people who seem to like terrorism, we don't necessarily want those people. On the other hand, if you like having freedom of speech in this country, and even speech that's hateful and you hate that speech, but it's not inciting violence and not calling for overthrow the government or whatever. Maybe you should let people speak their mind and you could ignore it, you could unsubscribe, stuff like that. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think it's fair that immigrants who just have a green card are not free to speak their minds the way US citizens are? Do you think that's fair or not? Please write me a comment. Jesus on YouTube says hello. I hope Gerald Henson has some interest now in our show. Nina is watching from New York. People are starting to ask questions. Wonderful. I'm really happy to see that. Drop your question in the comments, and also drop in the comments if you think it's fair that if you only have like a visa, you're definitely going to get deported for speaking your mind on some topics. And if you have a green card, you could get deported. But U.S. citizens can say whatever they want. Do you think? Do you think that's fair or not? In other immigration news, we've had an issue with the court was so there was a federal court that said that the Trump administration should stop deporting uh, people who already mostly had like criminal convictions from Venezuela and so forth. And the court said you have to stop these deportations. We're not letting you. And Trump's administration deported them anyway. So the Trump administration has now transferred hundreds of immigrants to El Salvador because they made a deal. The U.S. and El Salvador made a deal that El Salvador agrees to hold them. They agreed to hold deportees from U.S. even when a federal judge issued an order temporarily stopping the deportation under the 18th century wartime declaration targeting Venezuelan gang members. Officials said, too bad, we're still going to do it. And they deported them. This was connected to when Trump tried to bring back this 1700s law called the Alien Enemy of the State law, last used in our country during World War II when US was fighting Japan. They took all the Japanese, even US citizens, people who were born in America, but they were Japanese ethnicity, and either deported them or put them in camps, basically. I don't know if you know that part of American history. If you're an immigrant, you might not know about this. I was horrified to learn that our country, America, has abused the Japanese people in this way in the 1940s when the war was happening with Japan, I think 1945, 1946. Well, Trump brought that law back by a presidential order. Immediately, two lawsuits started to stop this by civil rights organizations in the U.S. And the judge says, hold on, Trump administration, we're going to take a look. For now, you can't deport anybody. Guess what? They still deported them. They still deported them again. Do we want these people in the U.S.? They're gang members, no status, have done crimes in Venezuela and in the U.S. Do we want those kinds of people here? Probably not. We are regular people here, working people. We don't want to have that kind of people here when they have no status and they're criminals. But we also don't want the government to just use whatever they can and like bring these weird old laws back. It just becomes a free for all. It's not a democracy anymore. It becomes like a dictatorship, and it's bad for the whole country, in my opinion. Gerald says that he has traveled to countries on these lists of yellow category and orange category, and he loves all people, and they're regular people, they're good people. I agree. The people really have nothing to do with their governments and the bad things that these countries' governments do. It's true. They have nothing to do with it, but they suffer. But this is the system we live in. I talked to some people from Russia, and many of them disagree with the war in Ukraine. They didn't want this war. But guess what? Nobody asked regular people. The government just does what they want. And then the regular people are the ones who suffer. You know, that such is life. I don't know what to tell you. Such is life. All right, so that's a little bit more of the news. I think that I'm going to stop with the news at this point. You guys started posting your questions. Let's get into my questions here from people on YouTube. Damien says, I have a DUI from February 2023. There was no accident, no injuries, nothing, but I did get court referral program after completing the case, and it was dismissed in January 2024. Will this affect my work permit I-765 application when I filed, and will this not be approved? As long as you provide the criminal court dismissal letter to the USCIS people, like they will probably ask you for some sort of request for evidence, or not, if not, that you maybe want to send it yourself. You should be okay. You should be fine. Jesus Sanchez says three prima facie determinations, no request for evidence. I received my work permit and advance parole combination card, and I guess his VAWA is pending. Is he close to approval? You are about a year to a year and a half away from approval, hopefully. Okay. Lucky says, Lucky Corporation, my I-360 got approved 4 months ago. Congratulations. This is the VAWA petition, most likely for people who were abused in a bad marriage to a citizen. I filed my green card application I-485 together with the I-360 concurrently. When can I expect my green card? What should I do for the medical? You need to wait. I would wait another 6 to 8 months just to be sure. If they need your medical, they will write you a letter and request it. Okay? Just be, I know it's easy to say, but just be patient for now. We talked about this already. Maggie Thomas says, I'm a U.S. citizen. Is it possible to file a family I-130 petition for my mom when she comes into the country with her tourist visa? Can I change her status with administration without any issues? Maggie, I have great news for you. Generally speaking, if she comes in, no crimes, I wait usually 60 days, then we prepare the package and we send it out for US citizens filing for parents. And it should be okay. As long as your mom doesn't have any criminal history, you should be able to get her a 10-year green card. It will probably take 1 to 1.5 years. So like 12 to 18 months approximately. Okay. Questions from Instagram. Georgina19115 says, is advanced parole safe to use for travel under Trump? I think yes, but a lot of my colleagues are saying no. I get clients every day who let me know they traveled and they're fine. Everything is okay. Kesug Humayer says, does hit and run misdemeanor cases affect an immigrant status? Yes, it does. If you have a criminal conviction, it definitely affects your status. You could potentially get deported. Kenneth Primrose 79 says, my fiance has a J1 visa. How can I keep her here in the States? If you marry her, you can get her a spouse green card. It will be first temporary, most likely 2-year green card, and then you file for the 10-year. Tarun says my B1 tourist visa application was rejected. They didn't even look at my documents. Is there something I can do? I would wait a year and reapply. That's the only thing that you could do. Um, Gurpreet Singh says, hi, I have asylum green card. Can I apply for my home country passport? I think so. Gurpreet Singh, hello, first of all. I think so. Yeah. Z123GGG says, I was out of status before for more than 13 months. Out of status for more than 13 months. My wife has agreed. She filed my I-130 family petition in October of 2024. After it is approved, can I file for the I-485? Will I be in good standing? Unless you have something like 245I amnesty in your history, there's no way. You have to wait for your wife to become a citizen because the out of status time you've had here for 13 months makes you ineligible, and that stuff is not going to get forgiven through your wife's petition because she only has a green card, and that's how they set up the whole legal system here. So green card holders, spouses can only get green cards if they're in status. More than 60 days out of status, it's a real problem. So I would just wait for her to become a citizen and then file your green card I-485 application. Okay. Next question is from Nina on YouTube. Can a green card holder join a parent? No, you cannot. If you're a green card holder, you cannot file for a green card for your parent. And I'm sorry I'm giving you bad news, Nina, and you're very welcome. Lucky Corporation says, can I remarry after getting my green card from another country and file for her I-130? So you received your own green card, I assume from the question, through marriage to a citizen or green card holder. You have your green card. There's a 5-year broad red flag rule on getting someone else a green card when you got it through marriage. So since you got your first green card, you have to wait 5 years before you can file and get a green card for another person, right? So if you received your green card like in 2023, right? Maybe you're divorced now from the U.S. citizen sponsor who got you that green card. You have to wait from 2023 until 2028, and then you can file for the next green card. You can marry them, but you're not going to be able to get them a green card. It's going to have a big fraud alert on it, and you're going to be questioned very, very deeply and might even get denied. Okay, so I always tell people from the time you get your own green card through the marriage, 25 years, because you can then pass that on and get another green card through marrying you now. Term. All right, we love preparation. Dwayne says, "Good morning. Hope as well. Thank you. All is well. Thank you. After work permit approved, how long does it take to actually get the green card?" It depends in the category you are, my friend. The work permit approval has nothing to do with the time for your green card. The work permit is just a privilege you receive while you're waiting for your green card. It is not connected to then how long it takes after that to get the green card. So it depends, okay? If you tell me what category you're in, did you file for the green card through marriage, through VAWA, through asylum, through other things, then I can tell you how long it will take. Back to Instagram. Georgina is asking again, is advance parole document safe to use for travel to return to US? I think if you don't have anything out of status, if you haven't posted anything in support of terrorism online, if you are like just a regular person, very quiet on social media, you don't have crimes, you should be okay to travel. Okay. Oh, Lucky says green card July through 60. You could wait another 3 years then, Lucky, because I-360. Oh, no, wait. Lucky says my I-360 was approved 4 months ago. So he got his, wait, oh, it's a different story. We got Lucky is getting the green card through I-360. You were approved 4 months ago. You're waiting to concurrently file a green card. Another year probably you have to wait. Okay, Lucky, 1 year. Z123DDD says, adding to the same question about green card holder marriage, 13 months out of status. My wife is filing for H1B. Luckily, if I get the last H1B, there's a meeting problem because of my 13 months out of status. Yes, if you've been 13 months out of status, you're not going to be able to get the H1B because you already violated. Okay. Um, yeah, that will prevent you from getting that type of. All right. Olga has a question. Hello, someone is in removal proceedings. That means somebody has deportation proceedings. They have a court hearing in court, and then marries a U.S. citizen. First, he sends his I-130 to USCIS. And then he sends his I-35 to immigration court. How long does the whole process take? It depends what your judge decides. If your judge decides they will terminate your case once your I-130 has to be approved first, that's going to take a year to year and a half. Okay, once that happens, and the judge says, you know what, I'm going to get rid of this case, I will dismiss it because you now approved for marriage. Let USCIS deal with you. You have a good chance of getting a green card, no crime, and so on. That will probably take you another year. So I'm saying approximately 2 to 3 years is going to take. It's not a short process. It's like about 3 years in this case. And part of it is because it's every time that USA receives a package of documents and you have court, they have to review everything extra carefully. It takes longer. Then, when you approve, that information has to be sent to court, and then court will wait until the next hearing to decide if they're going to dismiss your case or not. So, like, then your lawyer has to make the motion. All these things take time, like around 3 years, I think. You're welcome, Olga. Thank you for your question. I'm happy you guys are watching, asking. That means you're interested. You trust me. Thank you for your trust. If you want to make a consultation, by the way, if you want to discuss your case further, I'm here to give you advice. Of course, I'm giving you information, and from what I know, and I've been doing this for 21 years, very successfully, so I know a lot of things. But to really decide the plan of action and start executing on it, I start to actually file petitions, get approvals, get green card processing, call us for consultation. My information is right on top, Shepelsky.attorney. On Instagram, just click my profile that has all of our contact info. And on YouTube, it's the same thing. Click on my profile and you will see all of this information, how to contact us, how to schedule a consultation in there, and that way it'll be easy for you to schedule. It's New York 11420, which is a zip code. Hello, New York. Hey, VAWA advanced parole approved, but before I had asylum case in removal and BIA appeal is pending. How can I terminate my case? So, since you have VAWA and you should not be using your advanced parole because it sounds like you have a deportation order. If you have a deportation order, it is not safe for you to leave U.S. They're not going to let you back. So I see that you got advanced parole. Don't use it. Do not use it if you have an asylum case that was denied and it's pending BIA appeal. Now, uh, once your VAWA is approved, your lawyer should make a motion to terminate your case to the judge in immigration court. And then it could get terminated. Sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the attorney for the government. Okay? C123GGT says asking again. I also have TPS. Looks like it's ending soon. Just in case it doesn't get renewed, TPS does not get renewed. Will the work permit and other TPS benefit end on day one, or will they give certain months? We don't know yet. Probably it will end when TPS ends. I don't know if they're going to give a grace period. I'm thinking they won't. I'm thinking they're not going to give you the grace period. All right, we're going to be here for another couple of minutes. If you have a question, drop your question. I'm here for a couple of more minutes, and then I'm going to have to say goodbye to you guys and see you in 2 weeks. 2 more minutes. All right. Z123GGG says you're awesome. Thank you. I just tell you what I think, and I want to thank you for thinking I'm awesome. What else do we think about immigration news? People keep asking me, if you have a green card, does that mean you're safe when you travel? So let me address that. I think generally you are safe, but as I already mentioned, be careful with criminal situations. Even if you just get arrested and you're not even convicted yet, maybe you didn't even have a hearing yet in front of a judge, you could get sent to ICE because of the arrest. And then you cannot travel for sure. If you get, uh, if you're traveling, be careful about posting online. If you're traveling and you're posting stuff, uh, you're criticizing the government, you might be saying that why, it has to do with Hamas and Israel and all that, and all the terrorism stuff that's happening around the world. If you support that type of stuff, they're watching your social media. They can check you when you come through the airport and either deny you entrance or try to deport you. So now is the time to be very careful, even if you have a green card. And if you had a green card more than 5 years, there's no reason why you shouldn't be filing for U.S. citizenship. You must file for citizenship. As soon as you're eligible, get that citizenship, get that blue passport. Then you're safe. Then you don't have to watch this anymore. Although maybe you enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like that will keep you safe to get that passport. I think on that note, I don't see any more questions. I'm going to end my show today. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Call me. My profile info is in my profile. How to contact me, how to call us, go on our website, shepelskylaw.com. I love you all. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you.